Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You're Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. Today we're going to be going over the case of a gentleman who was fucked over by Verizon. This is the story of Tom Collery. He's a Verizon customer that has used Verizon service for almost 20 or 22 years in San Francisco. He called Verizon saying that he's having bad cell phone service, so they shipped him a replacement phone. It was a Galaxy Z Flip 7. This was an unwiped store demo unit. He thought that he was going to be getting a new unit because they diagnosed that he was having an issue with his phone, but in spite of the fact that they diagnosed him as having an issue with his phone that they supplied him, they still sent him a unit that was not new. So he transferred his data to this, he returns his old phone, and about 2 weeks later, the phone factory resets itself and erases all of his fucking data. He loses his contacts, messages, photos, documents, work, healthcare info, and the last video of his grandmother before she died. His cloud backups were incomplete, so the wipe was not recoverable. I know what people are saying, you should have a proper backup. I guarantee you, of the people saying that, from my experience, having a data recovery company and doing what I do for over 15 years, at least 30% of you that think you have your cloud backup have certain files that are either corrupt in your cloud, not transferred, or something else. So laugh all you want, but fuck you. I hope that Verizon remotes into your device and fucking erases it when you most need it. Anyway, don't laugh at people when fucked up shit happens like this. I just don't want to see that shit anymore. So the phone identified itself as Verizon managed. After the reset, it said this on screen. This device is managed. Property of Verizon has configured this device to be fully managed. Device owned by Verizon, protected with BrickTech. BrickTech is a retail security and device management product from CAN'T Solutions. It's an InView company, which is built to manage company-owned devices and lock down store display phones, and supports Android with remote wipe. CAN'T's BrickTech privacy policy states that the software resets demo devices on a schedule. CAN'T DPC may sanitize devices on a predetermined schedule. Sanitization may include resetting specific applications and cache and data, clearing contacts, and clearing SMS messages and clearing call logs. There's an EFF security researcher, Cooper Quinton, that said that the restart and reset pattern is consistent with Verizon pushing a wipe to a fleet of demo phones at once. The timing was likely a scheduled policy taking effect. The way this works is that you have a fully managed company-owned device that can be erased by the server using the Google Android Management API. The enterprises that devices that delete method can immediately delete the device record and send a wipe instruction on a company-owned device that triggers a factory reset. The main problem here is that this was not a company-owned device. This was a device that was at least supposed to be owned by the customer. So what is Verizon's response to all of this? After he goes to the FCC and complains, Verizon sent the FCC a letter saying that we acknowledge the seriousness of the error that led to Mr. Collery receiving a device subsequently identified as a demo phone, which is found to have mobile device management registration linked to Verizon. In the same letter, Verizon tries to abdicate responsibility by saying that all certified devices, and I quote, originate directly from the manufacturer and meet stringent quality assurance standards. In spite of the fact that it has MDM on it, that is registered to Verizon. This is what pisses me off. There's something about people that can't take accountability or responsibility for anything that really bothers me. I always remembered Harry Truman. He had this thing on his desk, the buck stops here. You sent the customer the phone, not the manufacturer. And more importantly, the MDM software on that phone was registered to you. That's a you problem, Verizon. A supervisor had told him that refurbs are like new and pass a 150-point inspection. Very similar to Steve's Carvana inspection, where that 150-point inspection meant that he got brake pads that were completely round down and a car that had very, very obviously had it covered up by a shitty body shop that had been in an accident. 150-point inspection, my balls. For wasting his time and remotely erasing all of his fucking data without his consent, they gave him a $400 credit, and they sent him a second refurbished phone, not new, refurb, and told the FCC that they consider the case resolved. Verizon never said who handles the refurbishment. It never said how this profile survived the inspection. Nothing. So he asked in writing, okay, MDM software erased the phone. What does this software record? And what commands were sent to my device? You erased my device remotely. You at the very least should tell me what went on with it. And it's a reasonable concern to have, because if they have remote access to his device, what if they had remote access to the device that allowed him to see what was on his phone? It's a very fair request. Verizon's rep replied on May 12, 2026 saying, and I quote, I received word back from the legal team. In order to provide any details about MDM, we would require a legal order. He's not even hitting you up for money. He's not suing you, which, by the way, we're going to get to that later. I think he should, and I will help with that. He's just asking, can you tell me what you did? I'm not asking you for legal liability. I'm not asking you to pay me. Can you just tell me what you did to my phone? Just so I can have some closure? since you deleted my fucking last video of my grandmother who's now dead. And they said that in order to do that, they require a legal order. So Collery says that there's a California Civil Code 1798.110, which says a consumer has the right to obtain the specific pieces of information that a business has collected about them, plus the categories, sources, purposes, and third parties that it was shared with. California Penal Code section 637.2 also says that a person that was injured by an invasion of privacy violation can recover the greater of $5,000 per violation or 3 times actual damages. He actually sent them a formal CCPA request and filed a notice of dispute as prerequisite to arbitration, and he's thinking of doing a small claims case. He declined Verizon's offer to waive his remaining device payments to drop the dispute. Because again, this is insulting at this point. You gave me a refurbished phone, not even a fucking new one, and you're saying, here, we'll let you stop paying for the phone that after we erased it, and we're not even going to tell you what we did with your data. Just no. And the best part of this is that the actual issue that he was having is not even solved. The reason that he contacted Verizon is because he was having networking issues with his phone. And as he says, and I quote, "My service is still abysmal. I can't even get a GPS signal in front of my building." So he bought the phone from Verizon. He asked them for support. They tell him there's an issue with your phone. We're going to send you a new one. They send him a refurbished one. The replacement phone has remote management software on it that remotely erases the fucking phone without notifying the customer. And then they tell him, here, if you just drop the dispute, we'll let you keep the, here's what I suggest you do. Small claims court, don't weigh this. Actually get a lawyer and sue. If you are a man of means, sue them and recover attorney's fees. The $5,000 is probably more than what you're going to spend for an attorney, but it's worth it. If you're not a man of means, I'll cover the first $10,000 of your legal fees. Serious. If you decide that you are actually going to go through with this and you find a lawyer and we hire them, I will pay the first $10,000. This is not going to come out of a nonprofit of mine. I don't have a nonprofit that deals with stuff like this. It's just going to come out of my pocket because Verizon needs to get taught a lesson. It would be one thing if they were at least willing to answer him, but they're not even willing to give him an answer. He just wants closure, and you can't even give him the decency of a "we don't know." Fuck you, Verizon. I hope you get yours. I hope he's willing to give you yours, and if he's not willing to give you yours because he doesn't have the means, I hope this guy takes me up on my offer. I would love to see Verizon get theirs. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Also, an announcement, I'd also like to go start doing a little bit of travel around Texas to some of these areas where they've been installing these AI data centers that have been getting protested a lot recently. The first thing I want to do with it is I want to use my PTRAC 8525 particle counter to actually measure the air in these areas. This thing is broken, so I've sent it in to get it fixed. It got destroyed when I tried to measure the particle count of a 1920s choo-choo train. Apparently, it's not designed to handle the output of a coal engine's exhaust. And also, I'd like to actually start live streaming this stuff more often, the city council hearings, the protests, everything else. So I've bought a bunch of equipment to help me with live streaming. I have some more stuff on the way so that they don't come out like shit. And what I'm going to be doing is selling off my old camera equipment to pay for all this stuff. This is the camera I'm using to record this video. And this is the camera that I use to record all of my store videos, as well as any of these videos when I travel to legislative hearings around the country. It requires logging into Bid. This is my site, not eBay. But if you don't feel like registering for my site, you can also log in with Google when you click login, so you don't have to deal with registering for shit. And this is going to be, I'm going to be doing all this shit regardless of how much any of this stuff sells for. I just am announcing that I'm selling some of the old sentimental equipment that I had when I started the channel so that I can stop being a hoarder. Like the people that work, my girlfriend and many others have pointed out that I'm a hoarder. They're correct. I have a BlackBerry Bold screen in my office. I have like the Curve 8900, the Bold 9000. I have iPhone 3 screens in my office that have not been used. Like some of this stuff I purchased before I could legally drink. And I really do need to start getting rid of some of this. These both come with an 18 to 200 millimeter lens. The NEX EA50 actually comes with a motorized version of it. This one just comes with a normal version of it. And they're not horrible cameras. I'm using it to make this video. It's just this one doesn't have an audio input on it, so you don't have audio input. The other one has absolutely no image stabilization because, they're old. I'm excited to get rid of this stuff and put the money towards some new fun stuff altogether. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Mr. Collery, if you're watching and you want to hire a lawyer and you're like, damn, I can't really afford to hire a lawyer, please let me help you afford to hire a lawyer. Let's have some fun. Verizon deserves it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.
We also have the duty not to infringe the IP rights in the process. It is in fact the manufacturers who have the relevant rights, not consumers.